This is honestly the weirdest thing I've ever experienced, and I have no idea what to do. So, I, 21F, have a lot of hobbies. I'm sort of what you might call a hobby collector, lol, but my top ones right now are running, as I'm training for a marathon, baking, reading, and doing something called junk journaling. Not sure if anyone is familiar. Specifically, reading is something I've been doing since I was a young teenager. This started about 6 months ago when I noticed that several of my old books were dog-eared, which I don't do to my books. I asked my boyfriend, 23M, if he had read them, which I would be totally fine with, but he insisted he hadn't touched them. Odd, but whatever. Then after that, I literally could never find my running shoes. I bought a rather expensive pair and kept them separate from my other shoes because I'm a nurse, and my hospital shoes are nasty, lol, but the running shoes I could never find. They would always turn up days later, though, somewhere I definitely hadn't put them. Again, odd, but whatever. And then, my journal got completely destroyed. Somehow, it was left outside in our garage, where it is known to leak when it rains. It didn't necessarily get water damaged, but the moisture made all my pages peel up, and practically 28 pages were ruined. The pages take me over an hour each, and I'm quite proud of them. 28 plus hours of my artwork, completely ruined. This is so stupid, but I genuinely started to believe the house was haunted, Lamau. I did shed a few tears over my journal, and my boyfriend rolled his eyes at that but helped me glue them all back down and salvage as much as possible. I had a fleeting thought that he put it out there, but it was honestly so weird. I was like, why would he? Then, it was back to my books. I have a huge bookshelf with about 200 plus books because I read daily. I started to notice one by one, they were disappearing, like straight up missing. I searched every corner of the house and could not find them. I even texted all 3 of my sisters, my brother, and my boyfriend's sister, asking if they had borrowed any and didn't tell me, and they all said they hadn't. My boyfriend's sister borrows my books often, but she always asks and insists she didn't have any of them. When this happened, I was like, what the F? And then, it was my baking. I could never find my mixers or my baking sheets or anything whenever I wanted to bake. The final straw, though, was when I found my KitchenAid mixer broken, literally just would not turn on. And if you don't know, those things are expensive. I straight up asked him, did you do this? Like, why is all my stuff broken or lost recently? He finally admitted to purposely hiding or breaking my things because my hobbies annoy him. I'm not going to lie, I exploded. I told him he was a weirdo for touching my stuff, and that it was honestly so strange to do this as an adult. He proceeded to defend himself, saying that I was spending more time on my made-up hobbies than with him, and this was the only way to make me focus on our relationship again, which, for context, isn't true at all. We still have a great relationship, or so I thought. We go on dates twice a week, we do it pretty regularly, we get along with each other's families and friends. Like, I'm so confused, we've been together for 2 entire years. I love him so much, and other than this odd behavior, he's so good to me. After that argument, I was genuinely so distraught that I left the house and went to my sister's house, who lived together. They also agreed it was the oddest thing in the world. The icing on this effed up cake was when I got home this morning, and he threw out all of my belongings. He cut the soles out of my running shoes, cut the laces, threw out my Apple Watch, destroyed the baking things, cut the silicone molds, and the box that all my missing books were in the dumpster with all of my other journal supplies. The journal he helped me fix was torn to shreds. I genuinely started to sob. I know it sounds dumb and overdramatic, but I genuinely worked so hard on my journal that it made me cry. Literally hundreds of dollars and some of my favorite books, in the trash. Money spent on baking supplies, which I used to bake for my baby cousin's elementary school, ruined. I just don't understand what is wrong with him. He's never been like this before, ever. For the meantime, I'm staying with my sisters and deciding what I need to do next. Update 1. Thank you for all your advice yesterday. I decided last night that I really needed to go get my dog, as a lot of people said that he was going to hurt her or even unalive her when I wouldn't come back. I didn't tell him I was coming, just went with my sister and let myself in with my key. He was upstairs but came down immediately, apologizing, begging me to just talk, telling me I was overreacting, all that. I just ignored him and grabbed my puppy. I told him I was taking her and my few things and that I would be back later tomorrow, as in today, with my other sisters and brother to collect my things. I told him that if he touched any more of my stuff, I was going to take him to small claims court like all of you suggested, and honestly, I was considering it now for everything he did prior. He was so stricken, and I could tell he started to get mad at that point. I ran around the house to collect my few really important things, like my passport, laptop, work badge, and he followed me around the entire time, just begging me to give him another chance, but I just ignored him. My sister took pictures of the things still destroyed, he put them all in our hallway closet for some odd freaking reason. I didn't tell him I was going to file a police report, which is why I think when my sister started to get snappy when we were leaving, calling him a few mean names, he shoved her out of the doorway she was standing in. She fell, and she wasn't hurt or anything, but it really proved things for me. He was willing to shove my innocent sister over a few words, and he will definitely do worse to me. He probably would have done worse to me if I came alone. We just immediately left after that and took my dog and my stuff back to my sister's. She helped me contact the police, and we have a report started, all the things he destroyed of mine, the text admitting to it, the text threatening me, the text saying he would have never hurt our dog, but if it would have gotten me there, he would have done it, that he will do anything to get me back, and the small scrape my sister had on her hand when she fell. They asked if she wanted to press charges for the shove, but she said no for now. The officer was really nice and he told me to write down everything that he broke and write down the prices. He said it might add up to a felony charge, if that's the route I wanted to take with him. I'm not sure it is, but at least it's there. That was last night. This afternoon, my brother and another guy friend of ours are going to take me back to the house to pack up most of what I can. I had my sister tell my ex-boyfriend over text that we suggest he be gone from the house for a few hours. He responded to my sister with just horrid things about me, calling me names that I never would have expected from him, telling her about all the intimate details of our relationship. He told her about my termination of the pregnancy, which she hadn't known. He said he wishes he never met me. My brother is urging me to try and file a restraining order, and for those of you concerned that he was stalking me or tracking me, I had my brother check everything, and he said it all looks fine, so at least there is that. I'm not concerned he will try to hurt me or anything when I go back to the house. Like I said, I'm going with my brother and a friend, both ex-military. I'm going to stay with two of my sisters until I figure my stuff out. My brother is insisting on staying with us, at least for a few days while everything settles. I thought I was overreacting, but I think my brother honestly might be, lol. I'm mourning the loss of my 2-year relationship with a man who I thought was the love of my life, a man I lived with and trusted completely, but I don't know what happened, he just isn't that man anymore. I think in some ways he never was. My sister made me think back on the past 2 years, and I can name at least a dozen things he did to subtly control me or try to. The most terrifying part is that if I didn't have a weird urge to post here, I probably would have let him convince me to forgive him. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me, and I hope no one ever has to experience something similar.